Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Pomona Southside Historical Society. I'm Rand, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a building here on South Thomas Street, the Rothrock Building. For those who are familiar with downtown Pomona, you'll know what I'm talking about here. It's okay, let me put on my glasses here and I'll get to reading, so just bear with me. It's pretty interesting about the building. I was lucky enough to get this. The owner of today wrote this up. He got the information together and put it on two sides of paper. So it talks about the history of the building and also the exterior and interior of the building. So, okay, here we go. The elegant brick building was constructed in 1910 for the Harrison Lighting Company and later housed the city's first manufacturing plant, the Folk Sweater Factory, from 1919 to 1927. It became the Rothrock Printing Company in 1937. It is one of the few commercial structures in Pomona retaining an original storefront and architectural details. The building is proximity to the Masonic Temple and adds to its significance to both buildings displaying quality brickwork and are virtually intact, placing them in the contrast to remaining pre-1930 structures that have been significantly altered. A little trouble with that word. Several businesses housed in the Rothrock Building played an important role in the physical and economical development of Pomona. According to the city directories, the Harrison Lighting Company occupied the building from the time of its construction in 1910 until at least 1914. Now, the Harrison Lighting Company handled all types of electrical work and installed electricity and lighting fixtures in many of the Pomona's finest homes and commercial buildings. In 1920, the Rothrock Building was purchased by Alfred M. Folks and his wife Jenny for the most significant use, the Folk Sweater Factory. Starting in 1914 with the hand-knit machine, Mr. and Mrs. Folks made their factory into one of the largest of its kind and helped to establish Pomona's reputation for manufacturing and industry. By 1925, the Pomona Valley was experiencing a rapid growth, and on December 31st, 1925, when the local newspaper dedicated its first edition to the area's growing industry, the knitting plant had expanded to include 24 modern machines and claimed no mill on the Pacific Coast is better equipped, and the reputation of knit goods is well established from the Canadian border to the Mexican line. Mr. Folks outfitted the interior of the building to include modern machinery and produced silk dresses, sports coats, and sports garments, as well as sweaters. There, until the end of 1926, the manufacturing business was so successful that Folks stated that, except for a large iron manufacturing establishment, this is the first Pomona factory. Later claiming its success clearly demonstrates that Pomona is adapted to manufacturing. The Folk Sweater Factory was very successful at Thomas Street location, establishing itself as the fourth largest of its kind in Southern California by doing $100,000 worth of business annually. On November 12, 1927, Mr. and Mrs. Folks invited the public to a tour of their newly constructed up-to-date factory located on the corner of Gary Avenue and 5th Street, now Mission Boulevard. The factory success continued until its closure at the time of Mr. Folks' retirement in 1938. The factory located on Gary Avenue has been demolished, according to the 1928 city directory. 351 South Thomas was vacant. However, a hotel occupied the southern portion of the building recorded at 365 South Thomas Street. Sunset Hotel, also listed as the Sunset Rooms and the Hotel Sunset, occupied 365 South Thomas Street from as early as 1914 until 1934, when the address was listed as Hotel Olympic. A photograph featuring the Hotel Olympic also shows a storefront of H.G. Case and Company Plumbing at 351 South Thomas Street. North, the north-facing entrance and storefront advertised the H.G. Case and Company were distributors for Winning Mead and carried everything for the building. The plumbing contractor occupied the building from 1931 to 1937. Edgar Roth purchased the building in 1937 to expand his printing business. Mr. Roth, a minister at the Church of Bethlehem in Laverne, purchased the Gospel Trumpet Company and the printing business to supplement his income. The Rothrock Printing Company printed religious materials at that location for over 40 years. And in July of 1984, the building was purchased by Ron Tapp, and the remodeling process began in 1985 and was completed in 1986. The corporate facilities of Land Design and Landscaping Architects are located on the first floor, and the second floor is divided into offices and office spaces. Okay, I'm just going to run through the second part of the interior, because there's a lot this guy got together, but I'm just going to read just portions of it. Let's see. The interior retains 90% of its original fabric on the first floor. The large high ceiling room, which occupies the front section, has the brick walls, although the space has been broken up with 4-foot high dividers. Let's see. The second story, historically a hotel with a central corridor and small individual rooms, remains very similar. The corridor is intact with all original skylights, doorways, transoms, and hardware. And individual rooms have been enlarged with restrooms, facilities completely altered. An interior staircase is added to meet fire codes and provide interior circulation between first and second stories. Exposed brick walls, new wallpaper, paint, carpet, and miscellaneous interior furnishing provided for a splendid atmosphere. The building is upgraded to meet the latest earthquake structures code and latest electrical code and the latest plumbing mechanical codes. But the guy tried to keep it, as original as he could, but like he said, he had to go back and make some changes for the code, fire code, and all that other stuff, earthquake code. But yeah, really interesting to finally find out some information on this building that I'm sure everybody recognizes. I put some pictures up. So anyway, yeah, if anybody wants a copy, well, this is a little too long. I don't know if you can, too long for my scanner. But yeah, it's pretty. Like I said, it's pretty interesting finally to get a little bit of history on this building, and I got lucky to be able to find this. What I'm going to try to do, I'm going to go to this when he's open and see if he can take me on a little tour, and I'll make a video of it, take plenty of pictures, and I'll make a video of it, and then we can talk to him in person about this building. But I just wanted to give you a heads up on this, and I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to end up going talking to him during the day, work day, and see if he can talk to us about the building. Okay, Pomona History, like always, you're always invited to join me in these little adventures that I have, picking out Pomona's little gems. And like always, you take care, and You take care of those ones you love. Thank you. Thank you very much.